What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's time for another ranking video. This one's going to be a little interesting. We're going to be ranking the Donkey Kong 64 minigames. So this is a common criticism with Donkey Kong 64 is having too many minigames. Too many minigames repeated. And that's kind of a fair criticism. But no one really, and people only talk about, and also people talk about how bad Beaver Bother is, which I'm going to talk about in this video, of course. So today, I'm going to look at the other minigames, considering nobody ever talks about them, to see how I think they hold up. This is based on my pure enjoyment of each of the minigames, and, yeah, I'm also debating whether to count, do I even count Jetpack and the Donkey Kong arcade game? Because these feel like more of like, you need to do these to beat the game. They're like their original games, just, you know, different because you need them to beat the game. So I'm just going to put them in separate categories, but maybe in another video I will talk about them. But that's how it's going to work. These minigames specifically, alright, and no minecart challenges, no races. Maybe we'll save that for another video, but let's be real. The races specifically, I think almost everyone hates, really, so... yeah, I'm not saying certain names of a certain one. Anyway, let's just go and get this started. Let's not waste any time and start. First off we have is this, I have a list of minigames so I remember the name. This one is called Batty Barrel Bandit. It's slots. Match the bananas on each slot, you win. It's very basic. But I guess a basic minigame can be fine in a game like this. So I'll put this in, like, B at best. Alright, and now the infamous one, Beaver Bother. It might not sound bad on paper. You play as a claptrap, and you navigate the beavers into the hole and try to get the amount of beavers into the hole, and you win. The problem is, sometimes it feels broken, or the beavers don't listen. And this one makes it one of the worst minigames. They repeated this like 3 times, I think, or something. I really don't know why. If I play this like once, this will be a different ranking. But yeah, D tier. Alright. Yeah, not a fun minigame at all. My nose is not great, as you can tell. Alright, next up we have is Big Bug Bash. This one, you use a fly swatter, not a Mario Maker reference, to kill the bugs. Yeah, that's about it. This is kind of a neat way, and I kind of love the funny sound effect that plays when you squash a bug. But aside that, it's pretty basic, and sometimes you gotta, like, really get your timing. I do kind of like the challenge with this one, in my opinion, even if it is a little on the basic side, so B tier. I feel like no one's gonna like any of these minigames because they're always repeated, but no one ever talks about how fun some of them can be, so... yeah. Alright, next up we have is Busy Barrel Barrage. This one right here, you basically play as, you only play 3 Kongs to this. Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, and Chunky Kong. I guess it's fitting considering they have stronger weapons, technically. Basically, you shoot down enemies as they're coming close to you right in the middle. You just shoot the enemies to make sure they don't get hit. The problem is a bunch of critters can come at you, and if you get hit once, you're done. You're gonna fail the minigame. More critters can come at moments, and it makes it a little more trickier. I say if you have the homing ammo or whatever that you locked at the end of the game, it might make these a little easier, but yeah, I would have liked this minigame more if it wasn't so difficult, but I do love the concept, so yeah, but I struggled with this minigame so many times until I figured out a trick for that, so yeah. It's a little on the tricky side to rank any higher, honestly. Alright, next up we have is one of the more unique ones here, Crazy Kong Clamor. Basically, you don't want to hit the Kongs, but you have to hit the golden banana, hit the many golden bananas that you need in order to complete the minigame. And funny story, this minigame apparently is impossible to win on the Wii U version if you play this game. I remember playing the Wii U Virtual Console version to play this game, and this minigame I could not beat, like, at all. And apparently this is an issue on the Wii U version. Wow, that's generally disappointing. Anyway, I really like the concept. Don't hit the Kongs. I love how frightening they can be if you try to hit them. Honestly, it's probably my favorite minigame in this. A tier, at least. It can be tricky because you gotta have that reaction timing and stuff, so it might make things a little tricky, but overall, I still like it. Alright. I don't know, that's like the one I kinda like. Next up we have is Kremlin Kosh. Shoot down the Kremlins that come out of the holes. Think like, I guess, whack-a-mole? Not really. Whack a Kremlin, except you're not using a hammer, I guess. And also make sure you have enough ammo to shoot the Kremlings. It's not really that hard, honestly. It's probably one of the more simpler games, which honestly makes it... Sometimes a simple minigame can be good in a game like this, so A tier. Yeah. Alright, next up we have is Mad Maze Mule, if that's how you pronounce that. Basically, you navigate a maze and you kill enemies to make sure you win. It's a maze. I hate mazes, so that alone gives it like, I mean, it's probably not the worst thing once you navigate. Once you kind of like, it might take you a few tries so you can navigate the whole thing. Otherwise, yeah, it's fine. I don't know. I just really don't like maze minigames are not my thing. So yeah. Alright, next up we have is Minecart Mayhem. This is basically, you ride a minecart, but you have to avoid the TNT crates and make sure they follow you. You follow a track while TNT crates change paths and try to hit you. This could really be a tricky one, honestly, when you first play it, but once you get like, okay, you gotta brake in some cases, and there's some cases you gotta go very quick. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually not too bad, at least the earlier ones. There are some that either have like more time or more TNT crates, can make it a very brutal one, but... yeah, I don't mind the challenge. I'll probably put some B tier just for the music, the silly music that plays. So yeah. I could put it lower, honestly, but at least that one. I'd rather have a challenge than a fucking maze. There we go. That's how I probably rank it. Alright, next up I have a list right here, so I'm... Pearl Path Panic. Kremlings are about to eat a golden fairy! And you have to basically feed the crab traps so the golden fairy can pass on the other side of the room. Honestly, it's pretty simple. Just watch the critters and make sure you have your ammo set. It's not really a hard one. I never really struggled with this one as much, so but it is rather simple, straight to the point. But make sure you watch the critters. Otherwise, yeah, it's a B tier. Alright, sorry I'm taking my time. Alright, next up we have is Searchlight Sneak. Basically, you find the clap traps in the dark. Oh, I love dark levels. I mean, it's a neat idea. I don't got much else to say about it, honestly. It's just a dark level, and you gotta watch the Kremlings. It can be more annoying, if anything, so... C tier. Yeah, you can really see why no one talks about the minigames other than Beaver Bother. Gotta make sure I, like, sort these out. Okay, here we go. This is the right one. Alright, next up we have is Speedy Swing Sortie. This is swinging on vines and collecting, I believe, the coins. Yes. Honestly, this one's a really fun one. It's swinging on vines, which is what DK is always known for doing. So honestly, I say this is a pretty fun one, in my opinion. So honestly, I put this in the A tier. Definitely one of the more tolerable minigames. It might be basic, but like I said, a basic minigame can work perfectly fine in a game like this. Alright, next up we have is Splish Splash Salvage. You're swimming underwater in a big pool full of water, and you swim to collect coins. This is honestly an interesting one. You basically just gotta watch out for starfish too while you're collecting coins. Overall, it's simple. Swimming controls can get you, but to be honest, I am kind of more used to swimming controls compared to other 3D platformers that have swimming controls sometimes. Oh, at least the old ones, I should say. So really, I don't mind playing this one. I say it's a high B tier at least, because it can be annoying sometimes. Next up we have is Stash Snatch. The only time, though, you'll play this minigame only once in the game in Frantic Factory. Kinda weird, huh? Anyway, Donkey Kong needs to navigate the maze, basically find 6 coins while avoiding the Kremlings and other enemies along the way. And then you have to, and then once you find the coins, you gotta make it to the checkered flag point. Honestly, it's a neat one. I like it. And it sucks it's only played once throughout the whole game. That's crazy. A tier. Weird, huh? Alright, next up we have is Stealthy Snoop. Basically, it's one of those, it's basically Solid Snake. Don't get caught by the Kremlings by their flashlights. They will hit you really hard. I do love the concept in this one, trying to sneak past them. Not a lot of DK games do this, or really any at all. So, A tier. And last, but certainly not least, is Teethering Turtle Trouble. Snakes are spinning turtles on their tail, and you have to help them by feeding them melons so they can keep spinning, because otherwise they ran out of energy and they might tilt over. If one tips over, it's game over. This is it really sets you up for a challenge, and honestly, I don't mind it. Again, I like the challenge in this one, so honestly, A tier. And that's every Donkey Kong 64 minigame ranked. As you see, Beaver Butter is at the bottom, although I do like Crazy Kong Clamor the most because of the concept. I won't lie, I don't think any of these minigames are amazing, so there you go. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Do you like any of the Donkey Kong 64 minigames? Let me know in the comments below. Later, folks.